Hello, I'm here with Austin Hogan, who is one of the top 100 ranked Arena Halo players in the world. Austin, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
So we got you here in the studio today to talk a little bit about your experience with Halo 5 after your team crushed a tournament that we hosted not too long ago at the PvP Gamer Dungeon. You guys were just so good together, and there's really no competition that stood up for you. But before we get into the more technical details, tell us a little bit about your history with the Halo franchise.
Since I was about, 7 maybe, my cousin had an Xbox and he had Halo 1 on it, so we'd play the campaign through. I didn't know what was going on. I was young. So, and once I got my first Xbox, me and Jesse, who was actually on my team for the recent Halo 5 tournament, after school in like grade 5 and 6, we'd come home every day to my house and play the Halo 2 campaign, like end on end every day. We weren't getting better, but it was fun to just play the Halo 2 campaign. Halo 3 was where we started playing more like competitively. We were 50s in Halo, most of the playlists. I believe he was 50 in everything, so he was definitely better at Halo 3. But for me, Halo 3 was like my start of a competitive Halo.
So did you play many of the Halos after Halo 3? Like, did you do ODST? Were you into that kind of thing, or?
The ODST campaign was actually really good. I enjoyed the Halo ODST campaign, but it didn't really have multiplayer, just had the firefight. Reach was terrible at launch. Once they put no bloom in it and no sprint, it was actually a pretty good game. Halo 4 was just not a game. Didn't play Halo 4 at all. Halo 5 I got into later, I didn't buy it right away. It was like 2 months after. I actually ended up liking it. I didn't think I would with all sprinting and everything, but they actually put it in pretty well. Still prefer no radar with competitive, but I was Onyx for the first couple of seasons. Started searching as a team with other people, and I've been champ for the past season and a half.
That's great. So Halo 5 is definitely your favorite. But what kind of brought you to the level of competitive play that you typically prefer to play at now?
I just enjoy having tough games, like just playing at a low account or something, just trying to get medals, for like a montage or something. That's just not fun to me. Playing competitively, like against higher ranked players and losing to them even, it's easier to get better when you're losing than it is to be winning against everybody.
So do you contribute some of the success you have playing Halo to the level of competition you've seen playing online?
Yeah, definitely, because without online practice, there's not any practice at all. So, and if you're practicing against lower players, you're just gonna stay at the same skill. You're gonna be doing, things that you wouldn't do against a higher player that would work. Definitely playing against higher ranked players is the way to go if you can get up there.
So is there a way that you perpetually challenge yourself to play against these higher level players? Is there a way that you keep your skills sharp?
You want to do something you wouldn't normally do to see if it works. So if it works, you found something that works. If it doesn't work, that's not something you want to put into your play. You can look at it and say, okay, why didn't this work? If it did work, why did it work? So you just put it into your game after you find out what works and what doesn't work.
And I suppose playing against these other really high-ranking players, you often see them do something and say oh, that's a cool move or that's a cool strategy. I might be able to integrate that into my Halo repertoire as well, I suppose, eh?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of pro players, especially a pro player named Frosty, he has a lot of spots that are just, there's first time showing it to people, and he just has spots that nobody would be like, how do you figure that out?
So this Frosty guy, is he kind of known as an innovator in the Halo circle, or?
He's actually just came into popularity in Halo 5. He's pretty much like a new pro. But he's he's a great player. He's just shows spots that nobody's ever seen before. Or if they haven't seen it in a competitive game, and he pulls it off pretty much perfectly.
That's cool. Speaking of competitive games, you normally play the team-based modes, right?
Yeah, I try to stay away from free-for-all because it's a great way to get known and everything, but it's extremely frustrating to play, just having your kills stolen over and over again.
But with a team, if somebody's stealing your kill, at least they're contributing to the same score as you, right?
Yeah, as long as if you go negative 100 and win, nobody's gonna say anything to you as long as you won. Where in free for all, if you come last or something, you come last. But as long as you're on the winning team in arena or anything, Slayer, nobody cares what you win.
So tell me a little bit about your team and what a team that you're involved in would kind of go through as a practice regiment to prepare for something like a major tournament or a major event.
Well, for the PvP tournament, we actually scrimmaged Mark's team, which was worse than you. Okay. The day before the tournament, we played them about maybe 8 or 9 games. We had some connection issues with one of their players, so we didn't get a full series against them. But you just want to scrim the teams, anyone you can scrim actually, and afterwards just sit there after every game, even just say what if we won, why was it a close game, why did they get this cap, or why was they have 40 kills on us, if we lost, like why did we lose, what could we have improved on to stop their flags.
Yeah, I think that post-mortem after every game probably goes to, like you were saying before, make sure that every time you're playing, you're learning something new and evolving your play style as well.
Yeah, it's like if you just lose a game and you just say, okay, well, we lost, it's just not good for the team environment. You know, if you're complaining, saying, hey, like, come on, man, we should have won that game. We should have won doesn't help anything. But if you're saying, hey, when they pulled our flag, we should have collapsed on this side instead of where we went there before, it's just a lot easier to help your team out and help the players evolve as well.
And not only is after-match communication very important, but during the match communication is very important as well, like calling shots and making sure that everybody in the team knows where they should be and when. Do you guys prefer to do that all in the same room, or is there much advantage to doing it live as opposed to like on the internet with headsets and all that?
Live definitely has its advantages because if I die and I have my teammate's screen right next to me, I might see something on his screen he doesn't see because he's focused on a battle or whatever. You know, if you can look across and you can point to their screen and say, hey, there's a person here, you can show them exactly where there is, where if you're online calling out, you can't exactly show them where it is, you can just give them a call out and hope that they look. Yeah. But if you're next to them, you're saying, hey, right there, they're more likely to look.
Yeah, and it's much easier too when everybody's all in the same room. Like the communication lines are a little bit more open as opposed to, you know, everybody just basically screaming in headset mics too.
Yes, like when you're online, you know, you can get hyped up and whatever, but when you're at a tournament and you're playing just right next to each other, everyone just builds off each other's energy. But even though like the communication might get hectic, it's like super important to, after that hectic moment stops, that you go back to calm callouts and say, hey, I'm with you, I'm pushing here, can you help me? Don't just say, you know, top red, top blue. Don't just call it out. Say, hey, I'm with you here. You know, I'm gonna push here, can you help me? I need help now. It's just super important to say what you're doing and when you need help.
And speaking of that live environment too, I bet you it helps to add to the excitement and the energy of the tournament to know that your opposition is sitting right next to you as well, right?
Yeah, like when we were scrimming Mark's team online, they were pretty much known as our competition going in there. You know, we were winning games against them, but we never really, like after a game, we never be like, you know, let's go, we won, let's go, you know, it's super hyped. But when we're at the tournament, and you know they can hear you, and you want to get in their head, you can scream at them, you can, let's go, you know, they're going to get down on themselves, they're saying, you know, wow, them guys are really going, they have lost tonight, we're sitting here all bummed out because we lost. Just, you know, when the other team hears you going off, they usually go kind of quiet in their comms.
Yeah, I like that little bit of psychological warfare as well to up your game a little bit, get inside their heads, make them make some sloppy plays, especially against teams that you don't necessarily know and might not be well known, like what kind of skill level you guys have when you're playing as well.
Yeah, because especially mental game's like super strong in Halo because people, if you shoot their body, if you hit their body, and they get tilted off of theirs, they start making stupid plays. You shoot their body, they're saying, oh, that guy, I have to get him back. I have to shoot his body. And he'll charge across the map, like if they don't have a strong mental game, they'll just make stupid plays after getting shot like once or twice in their body, and it just throws their whole team off.
Yeah, I like that strategy for messing with them, like not only on the physical in the game, but like getting inside their heads. That's super sweet. All right, Austin, thank you very much for coming out and talking to us today. And we're gonna have a little feature with Austin about some rundowns of some maps in Halo 5. Which 2 maps are we gonna take a look at, Austin?
We're gonna take a look at Coliseum and Fathom, which has a lot of trick jumps.
Yeah, it was. You showed me some of it before, and it's gonna be pretty exciting. All right, talk to you later.